Welcome, everybody, to another episode on my podcast and YouTube channel. And I just came from a beautiful walk with my dogs in the middle of nowhere. The rice fields, stillness, just a few rice farmers doing their work. And you could just hear the breeze like blowing through the grass. And it was incredible. And I was just walking there. And what I felt was gratitude for experiencing this right now, like taking in the abundance of life in this moment when I was just walking there with my dogs, me being there, the sun shining, the farmers there, the water running, the wind blowing, like all of it. And today's topic is about gratitude and how we are able to bring more fulfillment into our lives through gratitude. And before we dive deeper into practices, which I'm so excited to share with you, I want to dive into how most of us live. And I already shared this many, many times on my Instagram account, on my YouTube channel, on my podcast. But I believe it is so important to expand our perspectives on how we look at life to make a change. So the way I was living my life for almost 28 years was living from the outside in, looking for the things, projecting this fulfillment I'm talking about in this episode, projecting it into the car, the woman, the house, whatever it was that, I was projecting it into. But it was exactly that. I was living from the outside in. So I was looking externally for something to add something towards me. And one aspect of that was fulfillment. So I was looking outwardly to look at the things that I projected fulfillment into. And what I'm going to share with you is a tool I'm sharing with most of my clients, with all my clients, with not just my clients, but also a lot of my followers, because the way I encourage people to live is not from the outside in, it's from the inside out. And what I mean by that is that we start to look inward. Instead of projecting the fulfillment, the peace, the love, and happiness we're looking for onto the outside things, the external world, we are able to recognize them within, looking within to see that it's already here. So, and the beautiful thing that arises, it's just one more thing on living from the inside out, is that when we're able to recognize the fullness, when we're able to recognize the abundance, the love, peace, fulfillment, happiness, everything we're looking for within all our actions, when we're able to recognize it within, we're able to see the fullness that arises, that is present within ourselves. And that fullness then starts to overflow like a cup you pour life into, and that life starts to overflow into every single aspect of your life. And the reason I bring this up is because it all starts with yourself. And I love this quote, which says, the biggest service you can render to the world is self-realization. Because that's exactly what I was just sharing. The moment you recognize your true self, you recognize that you already have everything within yourself, you start to overflow with life. And that life will then start to flow into every single aspect, every single connection, every single thing you do, because it's an expression of the fullness you already live within. So to get back to the topic, how gratitude can be a tool to invite more fulfillment into your life. Gratitude, the beautiful thing about gratitude is that gratitude, you can only be grateful. Let's start it like this. You can only be grateful in the here and now, in the present moment. So what we do by living from the outside in, we're always looking into the future, looking for the next thing, never truly being, we're never truly here in the present moment. So by leaning towards gratitude, what we're doing is we're anchoring ourselves in the present moment to recognize what is alive within right now and what is already here. So now, instead of looking for the fulfillment in the things you haven't achieved, haven't reached yet, now you take time to anchor yourself right now in this moment, to inquire, what am I grateful for in my life? What am I grateful for right now? And the beauty that arises from that is you're able to recognize how many incredible things you might already have in your life. What an incredible partner you have on your side. What incredible friends you have supporting you reaching your goals. The house you're living, the safety you feel from it. Your dogs who bring so much joy into your life. The place you're living in. Maybe even the challenges you were facing in the past who brought you here where you need to be, who helped you to grow beyond yourself, expand beyond yourself, whatever it is. Gratitude brings you back into the present moment. And through that gratitude, you are able now to anchor yourself within your own fulfillment, which is present already here, right now in this moment. And this is the magic of gratitude. And gratitude has been a big teacher in my life. It has been such a big teacher, which I had to cultivate. I had to cultivate inviting in gratitude more and more and more and more, because I was so conditioned to always look for the things I don't have, in which I could never truly find gratitude, because I was projecting my gratitude, my fulfillment into it. So when I would reach it, then, but how we all know this, then it never really ends like the way we think it would end. That this ever-present fulfillment, love, peace, happiness, gratitude, appreciation stays. No. We then start projecting it into the next thing. So by doing this, like by almost strengthening your gratitude muscle through practices, which I'm going to share with you in a moment, you're now able to take off that lens, looking at the world from the outside in, living your life from the outside in, and take off that lens to see what you already have right now in this moment. And then to expand from here. When you start to live from this inner fullness, from this fulfillment, which is already present by being here in this moment, do you see how the place from which you're living from is completely different? You're living from this from this richness, this fullness, this abundance, instead of lack, self-doubt, not having what I would love to have, always lacking something. And I'm not saying that this is something wrong. It is your choice, whatever kind of way you want to live your life. But this just changed my life to recognize the fulfillment, the love, peace, and happiness I was looking for so long on the outside. So the practice I would love to share with you is super simple. First of all, you get a journal, right? If you don't have a journal yet, you should get a journal. And what I invite you to do is that in the morning when you wake up and at night before you go to bed, you open that journal. This is your journal. This is your I don't know the word, which I tried to say, but I want you to open that journal when you wake up and before you go to bed. And I want you to write three things down you're grateful for. And now the most important component about this is that you do not just write those 3 things down. Oh, I'm grateful for the sun. I'm grateful for the day. I'm grateful for my partner. I want you to take a moment to let it sink. Before you write anything down, I want you to open yourself up to whatever wants to arise. Instead of like looking for the things or thinking about the things you're grateful for, I want you to check in, reconnect with your heart. Just open yourself up. What wants to come to the surface? And for that, you need to take a moment. Maybe sit 1 or 2 minutes in stillness. And after that, you open your book and then you write down the first thing you're grateful for. And when you have that, I want you to take a moment before you write the second one. So I want you to take a moment to just, not just think about it, but feel it. How does it feel to be grateful for this, your partner, your pet, your job, your work, your hobbies, whatever it is that you're choosing to be grateful for. And I want you to feel it. I want you to imagine that this gratitude you feel infuses every single cell of your body. Okay. And when you have that, just place one hand onto your heart and you just say like, thank you. And then you go to the next one and then the next one. And this is a really, really important component when it comes down to gratitude. And the reason this is because most of us, we are so addicted to thinking. We are living up here so much that we are so disconnected with our inner aliveness. So when we can awaken that aliveness through gratitude, what we're doing is we remember how it feels to be grateful. We remember how it feels to be fulfilled. And through that, we're almost like strengthening that gratitude muscle over and over and over and over again. We change our internal environment by inviting in more and more gratitude. We change this internal environment, which then starts to project itself outwardly. Because like I said in the beginning, this is the beauty that arises when we start to live from the inside out. So we do not try to change our external environment to add something towards our internal environment. No, we allow our internal environment to shift, change, and flourish to then let it overflow into our external environment. And this is the magic that arises from living this way. Because what happens through that is now you're really regaining this power back towards yourself, that you already have everything within yourself. This self-empowerment within yourself through recognizing that all those things are already inside yourself. The only thing you have to do is change habits to invite it more and more in, to recognize it more and more, to stop looking for it outwardly, to remember what it's already here. And this is the magic that arises with gratitude and so many other things, so many other practices, tools to just come back into the present moment, into the here now. That's what Eckhart Tolle was talking about by the power of the now. The now holds it all. It's already here. It's just that we are looking for our glasses, sitting on our nose, looking for it everywhere, not realizing that it's already here. So that's why I'm inviting you, before you think or feel into the things you're grateful for, to take a moment. What happens when you look for your glasses everywhere? It's the moment when you stop looking, and you take a moment. You're almost like giving up. It's that moment of stillness, that moment of silence, which allows you to, it's right here. Or my keys are right in my pocket. It's that moment when we slow down, when we stop, to be fully present, to not look for it outwardly. And the same thing is happening with your fulfillment, the peace, love, and happiness. We are all looking for. So this is one practice I invite you to do. Get your journal, 3 things you're grateful for in the morning and before bedtime. And one more thing I want you to do, to feel more empowered within yourself, to see how many incredible steps you already made to be you, to expand, to grow. This is more like a ritual setup. This is something I invite you to do, once every 3 to 6 months. I want you to sit down and I want you to set up a beautiful space. Take a moment to arrive in stillness. Take a moment to just, and from that place, I want you to write, or not even write, I want you to go back through your whole life. If you haven't done that before, or maybe the last 3 months since you've done this practice the last time, to just reflect back to those moments of challenge, those moments of struggle, those low moments where you thought everything is over. You want to give up, but you did it anyway. You kept going. You kept moving. You kept putting one foot in front of each other to walk your path. And I want you to look back. And I really invite you to do that with your life. Look back at those challenging moments in your life and look back at them, what they taught you, where they brought you, how far they brought you, and how they brought you closer to who you are right now in this moment. And I want you to do that, to then recognize the gratitude that arises from that, to be grateful for those moments of struggle, those challenges which were coming your way for you to expand beyond yourself. Because this is when we start to, expand. That's when we start to recognize the incredible inner greatness we carry within through those challenging times. Life is challenging you not to punish you. It gives you an opportunity to expand, to come back home, to recognize how incredible, strong, powerful you are. Great you are. So I want you to do this practice. Write it all down, to just recognize the gratitude that comes from those uncomfortable moments. Why? The reason I want you to do this exercise is because it allows you to diminish this line of separation between good and bad. To see that we are able to find gratitude within all of it. Not just in the things we perceive through the lens of our mind as positive, as beautiful, as amazing, but also for the things that our mind perceives as negative, as challenging, as struggle. It diminishes this line of separation to see that these two sides are just two different sides of the same coin. And through that, we are able to also find more gratitude for all aspects within ourselves. The aspects we find good, the aspects we find bad, the positive ones, the negative ones, the good and bad. If we can diminish that line of separation within ourselves, that's when we come back to wholeness. That's when we are able to move beyond this categorizing, this labeling, this judgment, to see our wholeness and then recognize our holiness that shines through within ourselves. And that's where the beauty of self-realizations comes into place, because we are now able to recognize that we already have been enough, that you're already amazing the way you are. And it brings me back to my mission, is to help you recognize that your uniqueness, your individuality is your greatest gift. This is where your greatness lies. This is where your magic lies, you being you. And the more you allow yourself to be you, and I mean all aspects of you, the moment you integrate them all, welcome them all, you come back to a place of wholeness within yourself, of fullness, of aliveness. which allows you to recognize that you always have been enough. There was never something wrong with you. That you are already enough, lovable, and all the other things that you still might believe aren't true. And this is this beautiful journey when we turn inward, this beautiful journey of self-realization. And it brings you all the way back to yourself, to the core of your being, able to recognize the nature of love, peace, happiness, fulfillment, which is already here. So I hope that this episode was helpful. And I would love to know in the comments down below, what you gained from this insight, this perspective. Maybe even those practices which you are starting to implement on a day-to-day basis. I really want you to, take it all in, give it a try, explore. I'm not saying that this is the right or wrong thing to do. I want you to explore, get to know yourself on a deeper level. Explore what resonates with you, because that's when you return back to your own inner greatness. That's when you feel more self-empowered, by taking it all the way back to you to connect on a deeper level, to then know your truth. And with that said, I love you all. Thank you so much for listening. I can't wait to, jump online again here from my beautiful little studio in the corner of my house, having some tea. And until then, love you all. See you soon.